Alright, so in this video what we're gonna do is we're planning on adding the priorities to our queue so that the high priority of queue would be processed at first, the default would be processed at second, and the low priority queue would be processed at last. So we're gonna do that in this video. So for that, what we're going to do is we will give the priority in our this command, and then we fetch the priority from the command inside our handle method. So we do that by doing something like explode, because we're going to separate the priorities based on the comma, and this argument q. Perfect. I think argument q. And I will show you by doing die dump for this queue. Let me run this command. High no, default low. Okay, so we get these arguments in this queue as an array of the priorities. So the plan is to loop through the priorities and then process based on the high priority at first, and then the default, and then the low. For that, let me do something like, first of all, inside our try catch block, I would do for each queues as queue name, and then everything till here I want to copy and paste inside this for each loop. Looks good. Okay, and then I'm gonna have the where queue is our queue name. Perfect. And to do that, I'm gonna use queue name. Perfect. All right, so let's do trim as well, and let's rename this job as found job, and if not found job, I'm gonna return null, and here also found job ID. Okay, instead of doing the attempts from the job, let's initialize the attempts. Let's give job is null at first, and then current attempt is equals to 0, and also use current attempt in here. Looks good. And current attempt equals to found job attempts plus 1. Perfect. Here I'm gonna just replace it by current attempts, and then the return found job. Perfect. Everything's look good for now. We are looping everything, and then we are fetching the queue name, found job. If not found job, return null. Looks good. Okay, now here inside this loop, if the job is found, what we're gonna do is we're gonna break inside the loop. So at first we source it queue name would be high, and then we source for the job that is high, and once we get the high priority job, it will break the loop, and then in the next loop, and then everything would be processed, and then the next loop again the same process starts. It searches for the high priority queue, and then once it get the job, it will uh, break the loop, and then processing happens as it is. And if the high priority is not found, it searches for the default one, and then the same process will get repeated. So I think everything looks good. Let me just check it. Instead of job attempts, let's current attempt. Looks good, looks good. So I think this is it for the changes. This should work fine. Okay, let's try test it out. For that, let me just remove everything in here. Okay, let's first run test job in this browser. If we look into our table, there should be a job with the default queue. Let me go to this browser. I think I can change the value of queue by the second parameter. Let me check. Yep, this should work. Again, I'm gonna add a new job. If we look into this table, there should be another job. Yep, one is of default queue, and the another is the high one. So with this implementation, what should happen is that the high priority jobs should get processed at first, and then the second priority job should be processed later on, right? So the 33 ID should be processed at first, and then the 32 ID should be processed after that. So for that, let me just run this command. Okay, so as you can see, at first the job ID 33 gets processed, and then which is of course of the high priority, and then the worker actually processed the low priority job later on. So that's the main idea of this video. I think this is it. For it, let me again just tell the logic in here. It just we get the queues based on the priority, so everything was same as we did in the previous video. In this video, what we just did was we did everything inside this loop based on these queues, right? And then we source the queue based on the queue name, and the once we get this job, we'll break the loop, and then we process this job. And but if we don't get this queue name, it will loop with the second queue name, and then everything gets processed as the way it's implemented. So that's it for this video.